In the depths of the Roman Empire, a slave-turned philosopher named Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." I remember the exact moment this truth crystallized for me. It was 4:30 a.m. years ago, as I stood on my balcony watching the city slowly awaken. The world was quiet, but my mind was chaos. I had just lost everything in my business, and depression had become my constant companion. That morning, something changed. I discovered an ancient wisdom that would transform not just my mornings, but my entire existence. What I'm about to share with you isn't just another morning routine. This is a 2,000-year-old blueprint for mental fortitude, emotional resilience, and unshakable peace. These are the morning practices of emperors, philosophers, and some of history's greatest minds. If you're watching this, you're different. You seek depth in a world of superficiality. You hunger for wisdom in an age of information overload. Today, I'll share with you the 10 morning practices that have transformed countless lives, including my own. But first, let me ask you, what if you could start each day with the mental clarity of Marcus Aurelius, the resilience of Epictetus, and the deep inner peace of Seneca? What if you could find joy not in spite of life's challenges, but because of them? Let's begin. Number 1. The sacred hour, early rising. The most profound transformations begin in darkness. The ancient Stoics believed that rising before dawn wasn't just about productivity. It was about claiming sovereignty over your mind before the world could impose its will upon it. I remember when I first committed to this practice. The initial days were brutal. My bed felt like quicksand, pulling me back into its comfort. But something extraordinary happened on the 7th day. As I sat in perfect stillness, watching the first rays of sunlight pierce the darkness, I experienced what the Stoics called cosmic consciousness, a profound connection to the universal order. The key isn't just waking up early. It's about creating a sacred space between sleep and the day's demands. This is your time to cultivate what the Stoics called pronoia, the practice of preparing your mind for whatever the day might bring. Number 2. The morning reflection. Before touching your phone or engaging with the world, take 10 minutes for what I call the Emperor's Review, named after Marcus Aurelius's morning practice. Open your journal and answer these 3 questions. What forces might I encounter today? What virtues will I need? What actions will serve my highest purpose? This isn't mere planning, it's mental rehearsal for life's inevitable challenges. When I first started this practice, I was skeptical. But then, something remarkable happened. During a major business crisis, I found myself naturally responding with clarity and purpose, drawing upon the mental scenarios I had rehearsed during my morning reflections. Number 3. Physical movement as philosophy. The Stoics understood something modern science has only recently confirmed. The body and mind are inseparable. But they took it further. They saw physical movement as a metaphor for life itself. When I train in the morning, I'm not just building physical strength. I'm practicing resilience. Each rep becomes a lesson in perseverance. Each moment of discomfort an opportunity to practice what Epictetus called voluntary hardship. Start with something simple. 10 minutes of movement. It could be yoga, body weight exercises, or a brisk walk. The form matters less than the intention behind it. As you move, remember, you're not just training your body, you're strengthening your will. Number 4. The cold embrace. Perhaps the most challenging yet transformative practice in my morning routine is what I call the cold embrace. Yes, I'm talking about cold exposure, something the ancient Stoics, particularly Seneca, practiced regularly. I discovered this practice during a particularly dark period of my life. My anxiety was overwhelming, and traditional methods weren't helping. Then I remembered Seneca's words. Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" Starting with just 30 seconds of cold water at the end of my shower, I gradually built up to full cold showers. What I discovered wasn't just physical invigoration. It was a daily reminder that discomfort is temporary, that I can choose my response to adversity. Number 5. The morning pages. This practice comes from both ancient Stoic wisdom and modern psychology. Marcus Aurelius never intended his meditations to be published. They were his morning pages, his daily dialogue with himself. Take 15 minutes to write whatever comes to mind. No filtering, no editing. This isn't about creating literature. It's about clearing mental space. I've found that my most troubling thoughts lose their power when exposed to the light of conscious examination. Number 6. The gratitude practice. The Stoics had a unique approach to gratitude they called negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum. Here's how I do it. Each morning, I imagine losing something I value: my health, a relationship, my ability to work. Then, I open my eyes and experience the profound joy of having these things right now. This practice has transformed my relationship with everything in my life. Let me share a personal story. Last year, I imagined losing my ability to speak, something I take for granted as a teacher and speaker. That evening, I received news that a close friend had suffered a stroke affecting his speech. The practice hadn't predicted this tragedy, but it had prepared me mentally to appreciate my own gifts and to support my friend with genuine empathy during his recovery. Number 7. The strategic hour. This is where we diverge slightly from traditional Stoic practice, but with good reason. In our complex modern world, strategic planning is essential. However, we approach it with Stoic principles. I dedicate 30 minutes each morning to reviewing my goals and priorities. But unlike conventional planning, I focus on what the Stoics called preferred indifference. Outcomes I work towards while remaining detached from the results. This isn't about being passive. It's about maintaining inner peace while pursuing external excellence. As Epictetus taught, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Number 8. The wisdom ritual. Each morning, I read one page from the Stoic texts, Seneca's letters, Epictetus's discourses, or Marcus Aurelius's meditations. Just one page, but I read it 3 times. First, for understanding. Second, for personal application. Third, for deep contemplation. This practice has given me more practical wisdom than years of formal education. Recently, I spent a week with just one line from Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. The insights from this simple contemplation transformed how I approached several key relationships in my life. Number 9. The digital fast. In our hyper-connected world, this might be the most radical practice of all. For the first 2 hours of your day, stay completely disconnected from digital technology. No phones, no emails, no social media. When I first suggested this to my clients, they looked at me as if I'd lost my mind. But my business will fail, they said. Instead, many found their businesses thriving because they were approaching their day from a place of clarity rather than reactivity. I remember one CEO who was particularly resistant to this idea. After finally trying it for a month, she reported not only better decision-making, but also deeper connections with her family during morning hours. The constant digital noise had been drowning out the most important voices in her life. Number 10. The purpose practice. Finally, before entering the day's chaos, take 5 minutes to reconnect with your purpose, what the Japanese call ikigai. and what the Stoics called your personal demon. Ask yourself, how can I serve today? How can I make today count? What one action would make this day worthwhile? This isn't about grand gestures or world-changing actions. Often, it's about the small ways we can bring light to others' lives. As Seneca reminds us, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. Remember, these practices aren't about perfection. There will be days when you can't do all 10. That's fine. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Start with one practice, master it, then add another. This is how lasting change happens, not through revolutionary leaps, but through steady, intentional steps. Before we end, I want to share something personal. These practices saved my life, not in a dramatic, obvious way, but in the quiet way that wisdom often works, by showing us a better path, one morning at a time. If you found value in these teachings, remember to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. We're building a community of modern Stoics here, people committed to living with purpose, resilience, and wisdom. Remember, as Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and keep practicing.